Federal government signs memorandum of understanding with Japanese embassy to enhance rice seed production system and diagnostic capacity in Nigeria. Nigeria Customs Service foreign exchange rate for cargo clearance rises by 11% in 2 days. Plus, oil prices rise as U.S. official eases market concerns over economic headwinds. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Neka Oko, your guide. The federal government has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Embassy of Japan and the Japanese International Cooperation Agency on enhancement of rice seed production system and diagnostic capacity in Nigeria. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu signed the agreement on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria, while the Japanese ambassador to Nigeria signed for the government of Japan. Bagudu noted that the rice seed production project is aimed at achieving self-sufficiency in rice production and input substitution, with focus on enhancing quality of breeder and foundation seeds, equipment procurement for rice cultivation, testing, inspection, and post-harvest processing.
So not only are you helping us with seed and seed technology, but I believe the Federal Minister of Agriculture can do very well to learn how Japan was able to use technology but preserve the ability to include everyone rather than displace.
The project for strengthening diagnostic capacity of the Nigerian Center for Disease and Control will enhance Nigeria's capacity to detect and respond to infectious diseases by establishing a state-of-the-art biosafety level 3 laboratory within the NCDC.
The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation is engaging stakeholders on the need to comply with the general guidelines for the conduct of government businesses in planning and management of cash resources for effective and efficient service delivery. Dr. Alabi reports that the Accountant General of the Federation says the interaction focuses on strategies for realizable inflows and controls outflows with value for money in public expenditures as it relates to effective implementation of the federal government cash management policy and the integrated financial management information system.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is committed to doing things better, to making life better for all Nigerians. At the core of it is his handling and his husbanding of the financial resources of the country. And to do that, we need to take these steps that are outlined in this new cash management bottoms-up procedure.
I will still continue to solicit for your support to make sure that the implementation is done well. And wherever there are issues, we'll be glad to have those issues.
Building human capital development through the acquisition of requisite skills is key to building industry and boosting the economy. This is the view of experts towards sustainable development, innovation and entrepreneurship in Nigeria.
Skilled project managers equal to better planned projects, equal to smoother delivery, equal to less waste, equals to a complete and beautifully delivered project of any sort. And when I say project, I don't mean construction. Project cuts across every sector of the economy: healthcare, finance, infrastructure, business change, construction, IT. There are projects everywhere.
In line with the new Electricity Act 2023 and the 1999 Constitution as amended, Enugu and Ekiti states have pulled out of the national electricity market to establish theirs. In an order issued by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC), the Commission has transferred regulatory oversight of the electricity market in Enugu and Ekiti states to the newly established Electricity Regulatory Commissions. NEC, however, retains the role as central regulator with regulatory oversight on the interstate and international power generation, transmission, supply, trading, and system operations. With that background, I have Uket Obonga, Secretary Network for Electricity Consumers Advocacy of Nigeria, to shed light on the development. You're welcome to Business Express.
Thank you for having me.
The federal government is planning to increase power generation from 4,000 megawatts to 6,000. How feasible is this?
Well, I don't really understand what the federal government is talking about, increasing power generation, because as we speak, we have installed capacity. The 27 generation plants has a total installed capacity of 13,421 megawatts. And the GenCos themselves, or the generating companies or plants, have what is called generation capacity of about 8,000 megawatts. Then there is what is called available capacity. Available capacity, what they can generate and distribute at any given moment, which is about 5,500 megawatts of electricity. But the problem is not in generation. And this is the emphasis. We must get this into our heads and understand that the problem is not on generation. The problem is the ability or the inability of the other two ends of the value chain, transmission and distribution, to transmit power that is generated to distributors, and distributors in turn to do what? Distribute the power to consumers. No. We have had about 4 grid collapse this year alone. Why? Because the infrastructure is not there. It's dilapidated. There's no expansion on the distribution networks. No expansion.
So how much investment do we need in that area? Talking about infrastructure.
Listen, if we must, as a nation, tell ourselves the truth, and we are ready to do the right thing and that which is needful, the federal government of Nigeria, rather than continue beating around the bush, should conduct a technical forensic audit of distribution infrastructure, of transmission infrastructure, and by extension, distribution infrastructure. Because so much money has gone into distribution, and these things are still happening. It means something is wrong somewhere. Then come to distribution. How much has the investors, the private investors, who came over to take 60% of the equity capital, equity shares in the market, how much have they put in since they took over from 2013? How much have they invested? What was the state of the infrastructure they inherited in 2013 and what is the state of infrastructure today, 10 years, going to 11 years after the privatization exercise. If the distribution company, whose major revenue tool is the meter, is unable to provide that tool, is he able today to install distribution transformers? Is it not individuals, communities, associations, politicians all over the country who are buying transformers, buying poles, buying conductors? I mean, we can't continue to deceive ourselves.
Now, we have seen increase in tariff for Band E consumers.
Band A.
Band A, sorry, thank you very much. Will the increase have ripple effects on prices of commodities?
Well, all over the world, it is only in Nigeria that a government or an agency of government will jump up overnight and announce almost a 300% increase in utility tariff, like electricity. Listen, the Soviet Union, to emphasize the importance of electricity to a nation's economy, defined communism. Communism equals to electricity plus military might. The Soviet Union defined communism, and they say communism is what? Equals to electricity plus what? Military power. To emphasize the importance of electricity as an engine of growth, development. So you can't just toy with the sector as we are doing now. You can't just toy with the sector. Now, to come to your question, what impact is this tariff hike going to have? I consult for HOFA, Hotel Owners Forum Abuja, and other bodies across the country. I can authoritatively tell you that because of this hike, particularly on those on Band A, that they say they have a committed service level of 20 hours minimum a day, which I know is not possible. It's not the distribution companies that are generating electricity. It is the GENCOs that are generating, and it is the transmission company of Nigeria that is going to transmit to the distribution companies. So if something goes wrong with generation and distribution and transmission, how will they have that energy to give you for 20 hours?
So what do you want the government to do at this point to address the issue?
Listen, why are we traveling this route every now and then? I have said it severally in various fora. Tariff increase is not the silver bullet. Tariff increase is hypothetical. Until you get the tool that will guarantee you, the instrument which is a tool, a meter that guarantees that electricity generated and distributed can be paid for by consumers, you can't solve liquidity. For example, these things are not rocket science. It happened in Zambia. It happened in Kenya. It happened in South Africa. It happened in India. What is the problem of the market and the sector? Simply no money. The GENCO, the distribution companies, say they are not collecting enough money from customers. Why are they not collecting a lot of money from customers? According to them, you have about 13 million customers, and they have only metered about 5.something million. You have a metering gap of about 6 to 7 million. More than half, 50% of consumers, you can't guarantee that when they consume electricity, you get money from them.
Now let's talk about electricity.
What do you do? Let me learn on this. What do you do in this instance? You bring in what can guarantee that when these people collect electricity, you will pay. I bought energy for 50,000 naira on the 5th of this month. I have paid the ADC 50,000 naira. It is their duty now to do what? Give me energy. Right? They have collected my money in advance. That's why it is called prepaid. You pay in advance. So if 10 million 12 million Nigerians are on prepaid meters, and they can vend for energy, pay in advance, we wouldn't be talking this one of a tariff hike here and there. So we are running around the problem, not willing to solve it, and blaming it on areas that don't really matter.
All right.
We don't have issues with generation. We have issues with transmission and distribution. The moment you solve that problem in that end, you get it right.
So is it high time we added other energy mix to the grid, considering sustainability going forward?
Listen, you have 13,421 megawatts of electricity. 13,000. The 27 generating plants have installed capacity of 13,421 megawatts. And you are only able to do what? Transmit and distribute 5,000.
Are the sources
and if
sustainable?
they go beyond 5,000, there will be a system collapse.
The sources, are they sustainable?
Come again?
The sources you talked about, are they sustainable?
The sources?
Yes.
They are sustainable. We are talking of this is what we have. This is what I have. I've only used less than 50%. More than 50% is hanging unused. You are now talking of other sources. Let us put in effort to make sure that at least we use up to 80-90% of what we have on ground, and see if we are not going to turn around the sector.
Thank you very much, Mr. Obong. It was nice having you on the program today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, gold on track for first weekly dip in 6 weeks. Focus on U.S. inflation data. Let's now take a trip to the commodities market. Friday, as players took stock of the U.S. Treasury Secretary's comment that the country's economy is likely in a stronger position than indicated by weak first quarter data, coupled with supply concerns as conflict continues in the Middle East. Brent crude futures gained 34 cents to $89.35 a barrel, and U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose by 33 cents to $83.90 a barrel. Report says that U.S. economic growth was likely stronger than suggested by weaker than expected quarterly data. European markets rise as positive momentum returns. Next is Global Market Update with Maria Zakari. Hello, Maria.
Hello, Nneka. Global market, the last trading day in the week, saw most European markets on positive note, regaining momentum after a dip in the previous week. The DAX rose by 0.81%, FTSE by 0.49%, while the CAC also went up 0.35%. The Japanese yen slid to over 156 against the US dollar on Friday after the Bank of Japan left its benchmark interest rate unchanged. Tokyo's headline inflation rate for April came in at 1.8%, slowing from the 2.6% in March. Nikkei dipped by 0.81%. Shanghai was up 1.17%, while Hang Seng Index was up also 2.12%. S&P 500 futures rise Friday as big tech names Alphabet and Microsoft see shares rally on strong earnings. Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed 0.12%, S&P 500 0.78%, and Nasdaq Composite 1.06%. African markets are mixed as South African JSE Top 40 jumped 1.08%, while Tunisia's Tun Index dipped 0.09%, Namibia went also 0.07%, and Ghana was marginal. That's it from the global market. I am Maria Adozake. Back to you, Nneka.
Thank you, Maria. Now, the Nigeria Customs Service exchange rate for import duties collection has risen by 11% from 1,150 naira per dollar to 1,277.52 naira per dollar according to the latest update on the customs exchange rate window. This indicates an increase of 127 naira 36 kobo between April 23rd and 25th, 2024. The Central Bank of Nigeria had previously announced that the exchange rate indicated on the form in application date would be used for duty collection calculations, collaborating closely with the CBN. The NCS regularly updates the exchange rate to synchronize with the official market rate on the NAFEM window, consequently leading to frequent adjustments in the rate. This is where we end today's edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on the NTA's channel. Business Express returns Monday at 3 p.m. I am Neka Oko.